Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Chris Dearborn, Managing Director on Nasdaq's Market Intelligence Desk with our daily update on the Nasdaq-100 index. And Chris, this is pretty timely. We have a lot of earnings that are going to start to come out over the next week or two. And of course, valuations are quite lofty. These earnings results are going to have to justify these valuations. You just can't have the, return to a normal vaccination trade as your bullish thesis here.
It's been very interesting. The earnings season is kicking off. You've got 20 names announcing this week, some of the biggest, including Apple, Microsoft, Starbucks, Facebook, Tesla, Comcast, to name a few. Definitely going to move the markets, definitely going to move the index. We made another new all-time high. We're trading just a little bit below where we opened there, but the earnings consensus is really not what they've done for the previous quarter. It's what they're going to say for what we're going to do for the rest of the year. And that's the key driver here to the markets moving higher. It's not to look back, it's to look forward.
Right. And it's interesting because, of course, the comps are going to be not quite reflective of what we consider return to normal. I mean, do you comp to 2020? Probably not. 2019 is what everyone's gauging our new normal to be. So it's going to be interesting to see as these quarters start to comp against 2020. But let's take a look at your first chart this afternoon, get some fresh levels on the Nasdaq-100.
Yep, again, still trading at highs here. What's been interesting, if you take a look at the chart going back to November, you keep looking at a base case where the index makes a higher high, pulls back, bases for 2 to 3 weeks, moves higher, bases, moves higher, and then here we are again. So we're at the point now where we've just made that new high. Look for the index to continue to pull back a little bit here around I'd like to see it pull back like the 13.4, 13.350 level before trying to push higher. Interesting to note is the RSI here still sits at 68. We've been pushing up higher like that. I'd like to see that RSI come back in to about 55, 60 as a bullish case scenario. Again, 70s an overbought condition. We bounced up against it a few times. I'd like to see that come in with the index pulling back a little bit. And maybe some of these earnings reports coming in will give us that opportunity for the pullback before we try to make higher highs.
All right, Chris, in our last chart of the day, if we take a look at the individual constituents and their performance within the index.
Yep, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft still popping higher. Moderna, with a lot of news out today as well, is up over 12%. What you're looking at here is a lot of points with the big leaders there. On the laggard side of it, yeah, Netflix has pulled back a little bit, but that earnings report last week and announcements that they made really skyrocketed that stock to all-time highs. A little pullback there on profit taking is not, something that should be a surprise to anyone. Intel as well pulled back a little bit after moving higher on the management changes there. So what you're looking at here is the number of pluses to the number of minuses. The guys who are selling off a little bit are really just profit taking, nothing really new on the news cycle there. And those that are moving higher, continue to have good news coming forward. Again, it's still that pandemic trade now that we've got the new administration in. Let's see what they have to say. And again, at the end of the day, it comes down to the stimulus package.
Yes, it does, Chris. Great stuff as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for
you.
joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.